here at a doggy day spa today, and we're going to be grooming my personal dog, Mr. Wobbles. And some of y'all may already know him from when he was a puppy. He had little crooked legs, and we had to go through a lot to get him where he's at now. But now he's getting to be an old man. But we're going to give him a little haircut today. We're going to start out with shaving the pads of his feet. He is not crazy about having his legs and feet done after what he's been through, with his little disability as a puppy. So he's not too bad about shaving his feet. It's his toenails. And he don't like his front feet done. I'm gonna rotate to the other side, that way y'all might can see what I'm doing a little better, at least on the feet. See all the little hair in the bottom of his feet? And so we're gonna take it and clear it out. And we're gonna do it on the inside of the little nooks and crannies of the pad. And then I like to pull all this hair down and shave around the outside of the foot. So when he puts his foot down, it's not dragging the floor, but just kind of sits there on the table nicely versus how this one is. Same thing, I'll do that on this foot as well. I'll do the pads. Them little nooks and crannies in there. And I'm going to take all this hair and bring it down. And I'm going to shave like mid part of this pad. I'm not going to go away to the top of this pad, but the mid part. And then I'm going to bring all his hair down to his toe. I'm going to shave that off. Kind of creates a little bevel, so when he puts his foot down, there's going to be very little cleanup. See? It's like he's on his little toes. I like doing it like this, that way they drag in less debris from inside the house. Or from outside the house, you know, like leaves and stuff like that. Now he might still, because I like him with a lot of leg hair. I think he's cuter. You know, I do like to do him a little Asian fusion haircut. I think it gives him a lot of personality. I think it fits his personality. Now we're going to shave his sanitary. Well, actually, I think I'm going to do the corners of his eyes. I'm going to face him towards you to see if maybe you can get a better view. On his feet, I did the lowest setting, which is kind of like a 40 to do around his eyes. I'm going to do the middle setting, which is kind of like a 10 blade. And I do his eyes every week, so he don't have a lot of hair right there. Now we're going to do around his little hiney right here, around his anus. You don't go directly over the top of it, you just kind of skim around it. And then the same thing, I like to clear up a little bit of potty path there. I'm not bearing down, I'm just kind of skimming this blade right there. And then we're going to do a sanitary. And it's done with the 10 as well. lot of people wonder why some groomers leave this little bit of hair on the tip. It, if they hike their leg, it just kind of makes it, the urine go down to the ground instead of squirting on their front legs and stuff. Just makes it a little bit, it keeps them a little bit cleaner. I know it looks counterproductive, but it's really not. So if your groomer leaves that little bit of hair there, there is a reason. And if you don't want it there, just remind them. They'll take it off. But that's the reason why a lot of groomers do that. It's just to keep that, it helps keep them cleaner in the long run, as far as it gives that urine will drip down to the ground instead of spraying onto their front legs or their feet. Sometimes we'll get it. Alright, I am going to use my clipper back today, so hopefully it's not too noisy. I think it'll be just fine. I don't think it's going to be too noisy first. All my blades and stuff like that are close at hand. And that's what you need to do if you're going to be doing stuff at home, is just have all your tools close by, nearby. I'm going to check this length and see if I like it. I do. Might actually go one blade length up. This is a wide blade. It makes, you have to take less passes because the blade is wider. I'm going to take him out of this little green loop. Mr. Wobbles here, he gets a haircut every 4 to 6 weeks. Keeps him well maintained and keeps him from getting matted and tangled. He does not like a knot being brushed out of his coat. And it also helps keep his skin and everything healthy by having these regular maintenance groomers. And also it helps me spot things that's underneath this hair that I might not see otherwise. So it's important to have your pet groomed regularly. That way your groomer will notice anything different on your pet. If you only come once or twice a year, they're not going to remember if that lump or bump was on there before or just something new. I'm taking this 4 blade with the grain. You can go against the grain, but it's going to take it shorter. I don't want to quite that short today. Following the direction of the coat growth. That way it's less likely to lose clipper lines and stuff. There's ways to get out clipper lines if you do leave them, but I'm just trying to make my job easier, not harder. Take this 4 all the way up to the base of the skull, right here from behind the ears. And we're going to follow that around to the bottom parts of the ears to the jawline. Lift up his little front legs, and I'm going to skim out his little armpits here. That's one place that dogs seem to get tangled and matted, is in their little armpits. So either have your groomer cut that area short, or you're going to stay on top of it with a brush and comb. Mr. Wobbles. Alright, got my clipper work done. And if you have your dog groom regularly, they'll be accustomed to the clippers and what's expected of them. And then also, if you go to the same groomer every time, they get used to what that groomer's routine is. Like my routine, is, do the bathe them, brush them out, do your toenails, do the pads of the feet, do the body. We have certain ways and orders that we do things, and so the dogs get accustomed to that. And so if you bounce around to groomer, the dog don't never know what to expect. So, their behavior is a little bit better when they know what to expect, and they grow to love their groomer. Unless it's your dog, then they're like, I don't want you to groom me. So I'm gonna take the scissors and I'm gonna scissor his legs and stuff like that. Like I said, I like really fluffy legs on him, so I'm not gonna take that much off. All right, Mr. Wobble, you gotta calm down. And that's one thing about having all your tools close by at hand. It makes your job a lot easier, a lot faster, versus having to search for it. And that's the thing. Your dogs, they're like on a timer sometimes. If you take a long time to do the haircut and not give them a break, they get a little fussy or they get tired. I do give my dogs breaks in between the baths and blowouts, and then I'll do their haircut straight through. So if your groomer's keeping your dog for a long period of time, that don't mean they're working on them specifically the whole time. They may, have a routine of bathing all their pets in the morning and blow drying them, and then giving them haircuts, one by one, and then sending them out the order that they came in. But that's my routine. But that way everybody gets like a little break. But when I start their haircuts, unless they're having some behavioral issue or unless they're elderly, usually I do them the haircut straight through after them having their blowouts and stuff. And Mr. Wobbles here, he was a bottle-fed baby. So I had groomed him from day one. Well, not day one. I waited 2 weeks before he got his first face shave and feet shaved and nail trimmed. But it's important to get them started young. Maybe not quite that young unless they're at the breeder. I recommend after their second set of vaccines to come in to meet the groomer, do meet and greet, maybe a nail trim, maybe do the pads and sanitary and stuff. Get them used to the equipment. And then after that, just make it in a routine, regular thing. Have them done about every 6 weeks. Even if you have a dog that you don't think requires grooming, it's good to get them used to the grooming process, to be bathed and blowed out and you know, to be kenneled and crated. You know, because there's going to come a point, or there could come a point in time that they're going to have to require to be crated. You know, whether you go out of town or there's an illness or your pet's sick. You know, it's good to get them used to being in a crate and being under somebody else's care. That way it's not as stressful. If the only time they ever see a groomer or a vet is when they're sick or ill, you know, they're going to be scared. But if they've done met the groomer and met their vet on several different occasions and it's a routine, regular thing, it's like, it's no big deal. They grow to love us. And they grow to love the vet and the staff and stuff if they grow regularly. Got one little leg done. I think since I've done back here, I'm going to trim his little tail. It's so wispy. Just going to trim the tips off. I'm going to face him towards you, the audience, and I'm going to try to talk to you what I'm doing on this other back leg as I go through with it. There again, this is just my preference for my dog. Don't mean this is the, you know, make or break the right way. Let's scoop him up just a little bit more. Probably easier to see. Okay. So when I set his pattern in, just where I don't have as much scissor work, and this is a pet, you know, this is not a show dog, this is not a dog that's being done for competition, this is just a pet haircut, and this shaves off time and it shaves off the amount of brushing that I have to do in between. I like to take my clipper and go follow the thigh, you know, and take this hair off right here, because it seems like this hair gets matted a lot because the dogs are sitting and chewing, and you know, if they have an accident, this is just more hair to be caught up in there. So I kind of put a lot of my pet dogs in kind of like a schnauzer trim, and then I'm going to take the scissors and I'm going to blend that. And so it kind of seamlessly goes into the rest of the dog's leg. You know, I don't leave that harsh line there. And then also, I don't want all this extra hair right here to be matted. So if I take him from the side right here, you might be see it a little better. Just follow it all the way down to his feet. Just going in a straight line. And I'm going to get in front of you right here for a second and move off to the side. Another thing that I personally like to do, I like to hold up their little hawk, their leg like this, and stretch it out. Move him a little farther forward. And then trim that line. See how? Just taking the tips off. You really don't want to take off much of the hair in the front right here, because this hair just takes a long time to grow. And sometimes I'll also hold him up. I'm just taking the tips off. Just following the pattern that I've already made. Their little tail's getting in the way. And showing them what I want to do. And some of the things that I would do off camera is different because I don't want to be blocking the view of the camera. I would be standing a little different. I'd be angling my scissors a little bit more differently. I'm kind of like in a more unnatural position, trying to show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna take a little bit more hair off from this foot around the edges. On this one, I did it better with the clipper, took off more hair. So left myself a little bit less work on that one leg, but a little bit more on this one. Alright. I'm going to also trim on the inside, following, moving my way up in a parallel line. Same thing on the outside of the leg. I'm just going to move and make a parallel line all the way down to the floor, trying to not make cowboy pants, even though they're cute. I'm trying not to do that, but it's hard to do, not standing, not getting in your way. So maybe I'm not in your way too much. I'm going to trim off a little bit of hair at the bottom part of this foot. Just less to track in, and also it's going to give a little bit more angulation, a little bit more style. And you can do similar haircuts and not leave quite as much hair. This is just my personal preference on my personal dog. He's got a bunch of fluffy hair. So I'm taking advantage of it. Now, so when I brush this hair up, you see me do this, and then you see me shake it off. I'm doing that to make the hair lay more naturally. That way when I scissor it, you know, it's at a more natural placement. So if I comb it down, the hair is going to be laying down. But when the dog moves around, and it's going to take it shorter. When the dog's moving around, it's not going to stand in the way that I would want it to when the dog's in a natural position. Versus same thing, if I comb it all the way up, when it naturally falls, because just gravity's going to bring it down a little bit. It's not going to be look the way I want it to, because gravity is going to bring that hair down in the more natural resting state. So that's why I give it a little shake after brushing it up. It will make that hair fall into a more natural position. So if you see your groomer give your dog like a little shake, or even like they'll sometimes, you know, take the skin and give it a little tug, it'll make that hair on the opposite side of the dog fall and lay more naturally. They're not pinching your dog or trying to hurt your dog or anything like that. They're just trying to get that hair to lay a certain way. being that he's in like a little Asian fusion haircut, I like to take the elbows a little shorter, and it's kind of pinched at the top right here, and then I kind of let it flare out. Same thing, it's just the style that I like. I know other groomers on their little Asian fusion haircuts, they do little parallel straight legs, but I like the little flared look. It's a little bit more upkeep and a little bit more maintenance, but I feel like they look cute walking around with their little flares, like wearing a little flare pair of jeans. This last leg, and then we'll do this pretty little face. So Mr. Wobbles, he absolutely hates his little front legs brushed and combed and anything done with it, because his little past deformity. I think he has, I'm sure he has memories of having to wear the little cast on his legs, but he's all better. Oh, let's get right here where you can see. There we go. Again, I'm moving up and I'm flaring it. I'm taking my scissors close to the elbow, and then I'm, coming at this angle. That way I have the flare boot leg. I don't know if I'm in front of you. My screwy face is in front of you. Oh no. Hard to know what you're doing when you ain't never done this before. Or where to place your body. And as you go, a lot of times you'll notice other things that you might miss. Or a lot of times I do a rough outline on the dog too before and do all my finish work at the end. Way I have an opportunity to make things more proportionate. But sometimes the dog will be chewed its leg, or the dog may have moved, and I may have taken an area a little shorter. So if I, kind of go and do the outline on the dog and then come back and do my finish work later, if there's any of that, I can correct it then, instead of spending all my time making one leg perfect and then getting to the last leg and it have like a place that's been chewed out, and then I'm trying to fix that. Like I just kind of roughly go over a lot of my dogs and give them a rough haircut, and then I come back and I do a lot of finishing. Here's Mr. Wobbles. And Mr. Wobbles gets away with a lot. He's mama's baby. He's rotten to the core. I've spoiled him a little bit. Alright, I'm going to shake this little tail up a little bit more, just taking off some tips of it. Let's do that sweet little face, and hopefully I will not get in your way too much to be able to see me do it. Should call him Mr. Wiggles instead of just Mr. Wobbles, because he's Mr. Wiggly. Yes, you are. I'm getting out some really super curved scissors to do this haircut. I don't know if you can see how curved these are. These are super curves. It's the Wobbles. And I am getting my little short curves right here to do his muzzle and his face. And then I've got some curved blenders right here. Really like these. Any groomers on here that hadn't got to try the curved blenders, I recommend them. They're awesome. Trying to get where I'm not in your way. Let's see. Done brushed and combed and fluffed him out, but I'm just trying to get anything I may have missed. I'm going to take these little super short curves and clear out this little spot in front of his eyes. Oh, I banged you around there, didn't I? I'm not going to do a lot of talking on this. I'm just going to let my scissors do the talking for me. And also too, if you see your groomers holding the dogs, you know, we're using what's called a C-grip right here. And we train the dogs to get used to this. That way we can direct their heads and stuff, because we can't just let them just run loose, because you'll cut an animal. So we're not choking them, we're not squeezing them. I mean, my hand is literally cupped around his neck like that. And even like on the back of his head, like I'm grabbing right here. I'm just kind of cupping, getting him and directing his head. And then making it where he can't, I've got a firm enough grip that he can't pull away. Because we don't want him to pull away into the scissors. We got to keep them safe. So just if you see that at a groomer doing that, or through the window at PetSmart, they're not choking your dog. Now the dog may resist and fight against it if they're not used to it, and it might look bad, but the groomer is just trying to honestly keep your dog safe and not move into the direction of those scissors. Same thing, I'm doing another grip right here where my hand is resting underneath his jaw, and then I'm taking my thumb and putting it over his top of his muzzle there, and I'm kind of directing his head down. I really don't have any pressure on this. A groomer might have to train a dog to get used to these things, so there might be a little pressure then, just trying to hold them and getting them used to it. But once the dogs are used to it, I mean, I'm literally, my hand is resting like that. And the dog is resting on my hand. I mean, I'm not grabbing, pulling, or anything like that. So just, if you see that, just don't freak out. They're not choking your dog or squeezing their muzzle or anything like that. They're just trying to hold your dog's head and face in a way that they can direct it without the dog looking and hitting those scissors. Very sharp instruments, you know. So we're just trying to keep them from getting cut. I'm just taking these blenders and softening up this look and expression. I don't know if I'm blocking you. If I am, I'm sorry. And I'll be first to say, my own personal dog is probably the worst. Because he's spoiled. And he was a bottle baby. So he tries to get away with a lot. And he's a lot more wiggly than a lot of my client dogs ever thought of being. So. But mommy loves him. His mommy loves him a lot. I like to take this neck underneath like super short. Kind of makes the heads pop more. You can do this with a clipper blade, usually going a blade or two lengths shorter than what you've done using. Since I've got the scissors in my hands or the thinners in my hands, I'm just going to do it with my blenders. I'm just going to go over him real fast and see if anything that I'm missing. I can blend these legs a little bit more. I was in an awkward position trying to show the camera what I'm doing, so. Going back over him with these blenders and softening up the look. Some people like a more crisp look, but I like a more softer look. So I go over my dogs a lot of times with the blenders. Soften up everything. Just like that more soft, natural look. Nothing wrong with the other, just personal preference. Now, if you see my dog, you notice his toenails are still kind of long. They haven't been cut yet. As I said before, he really doesn't like his feet and toenails done. So I usually save it to last. Yeah, I want him to have a pleasant grooming experience for the most part. But the nails do have to be done. And I probably will do him off camera just because he's such a baby about it. He's a baby. And he throws tantrums. Isn't it right, Mr. Wobbles? Or I might actually do a separate video of me doing his nails. And I'll use my grooming sling to do it. That way you can see how we trim his nails. I won't do it right now. I'll do a different video and upload it. Alright. Let's put some of this equipment up. This is Mr. Wobbles, and he is in a little Asian fusion haircut, or a little teddy bear round face. And we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll upload a video of I'm getting his nails trimmed in just a little bit. And can you say bye, Mr. Wobbles? Hey, my sweet boy. Say bye.